Welcome back to 90 Day Our Way. The next segment we want to bring to you guys is something near and dear to Coach and I's heart. So let's get right into it. The first couple I want to get your opinion on, Coach, is Ash and Avery. Now, these two live on completely different continents. They both have children of their own, and Ash doesn't seem to know what being in a relationship means. So tell me, Ash and Avery, real or fake?
It's a great question. And you could look at all these duos, relationships, couples, and you can automatically say fake, 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 fake. But we're not lazy here at 90 Day Our Way. We like to do our research. We like to really delve deep into everything that goes into these relationships and everything that comes out of them. In your question, you pointed out something very specific, that Ash, who is a relationship expert in Australia, and they actually showed him doing a seminar where probably 10 women showed up in a hotel room. And I'm telling you, this was the most staged relationship expert seminar I've ever seen. It just was. So Avery came from the United States, and they're a really good-looking couple. Avery's very pretty. Ash is very pretty, like darker skin. He comes from a secluded part of Australia, so he's technically Australian, but that's not where his passport is from, which is a very important part of their story. So the thing I love about the 90 Day Fiance producers is they bury what really could be a big part of the story until later in the season. For instance, if you're going to Australia, Cody, and you've got 2 children here, and the person you're dating there has a child, to me, it's almost impossible for that to work because one of you got to make that decision. So Ash told Avery while they were talking, oh, my baby mama is cool with me bringing my son to the United States. That absolutely was not the case until Avery got there. And then she requested a sit down with the mother of Ash's son. So Ash immediately, you can see him glazed over. And he didn't want them to meet. They did meet, and she got a lot of clarity. And I'm on Avery's side of this because on the show, as I was thinking about the podcast, Sean Robinson, the host, says, so Avery, do you think that Ash is real or fake? I said, you can't write this. You can't make this up. And her response was, and I quote, I think Ash is worried about his self-image. And then his actions try to protect that. Every time that he answers a question, Cody, it's very analytical, and he's the king of not actually answering the question. So, for instance, if she says to him, do you really think that you'll be able to move with your son within the next year or two? His response would be, that's a very good question, and I'm glad you asked it. And it's certainly a topic that we need to explore very, very soon as I can really think about it. Okay? And that's a standard Ash answer. He doesn't answer anything. So you understand her frustration, and you understand why it absolutely drives her nuts. And ultimately right now they're not together because he lied over and over and over and over. So to answer the question, is this relationship real or fake, doesn't answer the question. I think Ash is fake. He's been fake. And Avery deserves something so much better than, that's a very good question. And I'm glad you asked. Next.
Well, I don't have anything to add to that. I can't help but agree with you. I thought one of the most interesting parts about the tell-all was when the other castmates started to involve themselves with this so-called relationship expert. Why is the relationship expert needing relationship help from people who have no idea about relationships?
I think that he's potentially the worst relationship expert in the history of the world. Not Australia. Anywhere. Because the questions these women would ask him, he didn't have an answer for. And the ones he did were very, very male, chauvinistic answers. And Avery's face was like, wait a second, this is the man that I'm in love with? This is the man that I'm planning on moving to Australia potentially? And then we find out she's got 2 kids. So to me, that's a bigger roadblock than anything else, is why would you lie about bringing your son? And then they said, well, maybe I can travel every 3 months back to see him. I've got 2 kids. Are you kidding me right now? You would give up your children to move and then see them 2 times a year, 3 times a year. In the world that we're living in right now, I would never do that. And clearly, Ash wouldn't either because he was lying to her. So to me, she's got to move on. And this to me was nothing more than a fake. And I think he wanted attention for his business. And the attention that he got was not good. I think it backfired on him quite a bit.
I agree. I think there's just such a serious amount of narcissism in their relationship on both sides. But maybe that's why it works. Crazy loves crazy.
Or maybe that's why it didn't work. Because to me, there's a lot of that's a word we're going to use a lot of is a narcissistic, because you see a lot of times, and maybe this is the underlying philosophy on why these people go after mates from other countries, because they can control them to a certain extent. Because if you mess up, then you don't get to come to the United States. And a lot of these storylines, and you're going to see as we talk every single week, there's a lot of, I'm holding this opportunity over your head so that you behave. And in any relationship, right, you can't do that. I don't care where you're from. I don't care where you want to live. You've got to be equal. And you've got to treat each other equal, or it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. Which brings us to our next real or fake couple, Tom and Darcy. Now, Tom and Darcy, speaking of narcissism, Tom is this highfalutin, very egotistical person from London, England. He's from England. Darcy is a twin. She's 45 years old. Her twin is identical, and they are two women that love. They love being in relationships. The twin sister has been engaged to a guy from another country for 4 years. Darcy has been an absolute mess on 90 Day Fiance for several years. She's dated 2 different guys during her time on the show. 2! But Tom is the ultimate slide into your DMs. And what really got me, and why he falls in the real or fake segment of the show this week, is the last episode of this season. He asked Darcy to meet him in New York City. And when he showed up, I thought it was going to be to try to reconcile. She actually brought her luggage with her. She was planning on staying for the weekend. And he walks in and proceeds to insult her, tell her that she had gained weight, and tell her that he had met another woman in London at a fashion show, and that he was very happy dating this woman from Toronto. So I thought to myself, why in the world would he even show up if that's all he's going to do was insult her, right? And I felt bad for Darcy because I've seen women like her a lot, and I like women like her. They dive in head first. They love. They want to be with somebody, and they want to support somebody so much. And when somebody like Tom insults her and just makes her look stupid, I have a problem with that. And I like to stand up for those kind of women. You know what I mean? And to me, Tom has been nothing but fake every single step of the way. What did you think about Tom?
So I think the point that you made is really what makes me think that it's fake, because what reasonable answer would he have to the question, why did you go to New York after you broke up? Mm-hmm. There's no logic behind that. None. If he is so happy, did he do it to rub it in her face? And if so, couldn't he just done that online? You know, what kind of reality does he live in where he can just say, oh, you know what? I'm going to go get some revenge. Let me head to the airport and fly to New York City.
Well, he tried to make himself look better on the tell-all when he was asked. He said, I didn't know what I wanted. I really didn't. I went there hoping to find out what I was looking for. Well, you had to know that Darcy, who every single step of the way is all in. It doesn't take much for her to be all in. He had to know that she thought they were going to get back together. And what makes him a bigger slime ball is we find out during the show that he slid into the DMs of Avery and he called Ash to ask them if they were broken up. What kind of oh my gosh. It's almost like the 90 Day Fiance crew cast is like the Bachelor Nation, right? It's like all of a sudden you got all these people that are involved in the show. They talk to each other. They call each other. And Ash even said that he was upset. He said it was offensive, and I don't know why Tom was calling me. The kicker was we also found out that he had talked to baby girl Lisa, and he had called her beautiful. He had called her pretty, and he admitted to it. And so 2 other women sitting on that set virtually, he had also tried to slide into their DMs and talk to them. So for me, Tom's got to go, and we need to find some real men for Darcy. That's what I think. Fake, fake, fake.
And that has been Real or Fake on the 90 Day Our Way podcast.